Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are on a very specific and honestly, a very important mission. We are going to save your roses. Look, if you're a home gardener, you already know the absolute heartbreak of walking outside expecting to see those beautiful, vibrant blooms, only to find your prized rose bushes totally withered, chewed up, and just under siege. But don't worry, because today we're going to break down an incredibly effective, completely natural, do-it-yourself protective formula that's going to eliminate these pests right at the root. We are going straight to the source material to build a highly effective remedy using safe, everyday ingredients you probably already have lying around.
Okay, let's dive right into this because I am absolutely sure this hits close to home for so many of you. Are aphids, spider mites, or leaf-eating caterpillars literally draining the life out of your roses right now? It is so incredibly frustrating, isn't it? You put in the time, the watering, the pruning, all that care, only to have these tiny invaders undo all of your hard work. It feels like this constant uphill battle. And listen, the immediate temptation is usually to just reach for the strongest, most toxic chemical spray you can find just to make it stop. But we're going to take a completely different, much smarter approach today.
Because, as our source material perfectly puts it, identify the silent destroyers that are draining the vitality of your rose plants every day. Before we even think about mixing up our remedy or going on the offensive, we absolutely have to accurately identify the villains attacking our gardens. You can't defeat an enemy you don't understand, right? Different pests attack different parts of the plant in completely different ways, and understanding their specific habits is literally the key to effectively eradicating them.
And that really illustrates the core choice we face as gardeners. On the one hand, you've got chemical pesticides. Sure, they're common, but they are harsh, harmful, and completely unnatural. On the other hand, we have the natural recipe we're about to break down, extremely safe, surprisingly effective, and made using just a few simple, everyday ingredients from your own kitchen. We really don't need to introduce harmful chemicals into our lush, green gardens just to get results.
Section 1. Silent Destroyers Identifying Pests. All right, consider this your ultimate field guide to rose damage. Let's meticulously walk through the threats we're facing. First up, aphids, mealybugs, and spider mites. These guys love to hide out on the undersides of the leaves. And what they do is they just sit there and suck the plant sap right out. This causes the leaves to curl up and ultimately slows down the entire growth of the rose. Next, we have your standard leaf-eating caterpillars. They tend to cling to the young shoots, chewing these irregular holes in the leaves. That actually reduces the plant's photosynthesis, weakening it and keeping it from flowering. Plus, they'll just go ahead and damage the flower buds themselves. Then, we move on to the real heavyweights, the beetles. The source material actually calls them the kingpins of flower damage. They burrow deep inside the buds and chew them up from the inside out, leaving your roses completely deformed. Next up are the leaf-rolling caterpillars. These guys are incredibly cunning. They actually spin silk to fold the leaves into little nests. They hide inside to feed, which completely stops the young shoots from growing. And finally, snails. These are your nighttime prowlers. Under the cover of darkness, they chew on young shoots in buds, leaving behind these slimy trails that can actually cause secondary fungal infections on your plant. So yeah, this is the army we're fighting.
Section 2. Botanical Compounds. Extracting the base. Okay, let's get into the fun part, like a little science experiment. Here are the precise steps for building our botanical extract. First, get about 1 liter of tap or clean water in a container. Step 2. Add exactly 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Step 3. Add 1 teaspoon of cinnamon powder. Step 4. Just give it a good stir until you see the water begin to change color slightly. That color change? That's your visual cue that the active compounds have successfully dissolved. Finally, Step 5. Use a clean cloth to strain the solution into another container. The grainy residue stays on the cloth, and we only keep that potent extracted liquid. Now, the really crucial point here is understanding why we're using these specific household spices. Garlic powder is packed with powerful antibacterial properties and is incredibly effective at repelling insects. It is our primary deterrent. Cinnamon, on the other hand, is doing double duty. It helps inhibit those nasty fungal diseases, like the ones caused by those snail trails we just talked about, and it actively boosts the plant's overall resistance to pests. It's an amazing combo.
Section 3. Emulsifying base. Building the delivery system. Now, what's really interesting here is this exact metric, 60. That stands for 60 milliliters of white vinegar. Why is this one specific measurement absolutely critical? Because white vinegar is the secret weapon that actually breaks down the protective physical coating of the insects. Without this, our botanical extract might just bounce right off the pest's natural defenses. The vinegar is what breaches the wall.
Let's put that entire base together. Step 1, in a second container, prepare another 1 liter of clean water. Step 2, add in those 60 milliliters of white vinegar we literally just talked about. Step 3, add 1 tablespoon of cooking oil. Step 4, add 2 tablespoons of regular dish soap. And finally, Step 5, pour in that filtered garlic and cinnamon extract we made earlier and gently stir it all together so the active compounds blend perfectly. Let's quickly break down the mechanics behind this. We know exactly what the vinegar does, but what about the cooking oil? Well, the oil is absolutely crucial because it ensures the entire solution adheres better to the leaves and stems. It literally makes it stick. And the dish soap, that acts as an emulsifier. It helps the mixture spread out evenly over the surface of the plant, rather than just beating up and rolling right off onto the ground. When you combine all of this, you create an incredibly strong, uniform plant protection solution.
Section 4. Tactical Rules. Proper Application. All right, the weapon is built. Let's break down the tactical rules for using it. First, you really must use an ultrafine mist spray bottle. You want that mist to be super fine so it can penetrate the canopy and cover absolutely everything evenly. Second, when you're spraying, you must deliberately target the undersides of the leaves and the leaf axils. Why? Because, as we learned from our rogues gallery earlier, these are the strongholds. This is exactly where the aphids and spider mites are hiding out. Hitting these exact spots eliminates the source of the infestation at its root. Third, timing is everything. You want to spray in the cool, late afternoon or early morning when the air is completely calm. You absolutely must avoid spraying under direct, intense sunlight. Doing this protects your rose leaves from getting burned by the oil and vinegar in the sun, and it gives the active botanical compounds the time they need to work at maximum effectiveness. And finally, if your roses are heavily infested, don't just do this once. You got to spray daily until the pests completely disappear.
So, we've covered the villains, the extraction, the delivery base, and the tactical application. And I want to leave you with this question. Knowing the immense protective power of simple kitchen ingredients like garlic, cinnamon, vinegar, and oil, how is this going to change your entire approach to garden pest control? You are now fully empowered to eliminate these silent destroyers right at their root. You do not need harsh, toxic chemicals to have beautiful blooms. You can build a lush, green, thriving garden using nothing but the natural science we've explored today. Go out there and save those roses.